Right, it is 1:01. So we're going to get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tech PD Wednesday. Thank you guys for being here. We have some guests with us today, some students with us, and so we're going to talk about that and what they're going to do for us and how that's going to work. I have two students with me. These are in my broadcasting class, Mia Coots and Damian Robinson, and there they are. And so what we're going to do today, one thing that's coming up, I've mentioned this before, but I do want to do a quick screen share. And I wanted to remind people right here, the Milty Student Conference. Now, this is for students from 5th grade up through 12th grade if they want to join. It's going to be on May 20th. That's a Thursday. So May 20th. Now, I don't know if anybody recognizes, this is actually their opening page. And this student right here is a alumni. That's Josh Grozik. That was one of our broadcasting kids. So here he is presenting. So normal years, we are able to go up to UMO at this time of year, end of May sometime, and do a conference and actually physically face-to-face. Well, this year, of course, we're not able to travel, of course, so we're doing the whole thing virtually. Our students, Nokomis Warrior students, are going to be able to do a bunch of the different presentations. So in preparation for that, we want to give them some testing, some practice to get ready to go. And so today, we're going to have Mia and Damian are going to do one of their sessions with you guys. So if you want to follow along step by step, that would be awesome. If you have questions as we go forward, go ahead and throw that right in the chat. But this is really a good opportunity for them to kind of practice this. Also, if you are interested in having your students do this, kind of like a test run before the actual event, please email me and let me know. And we can set up a time if we can get schedules to work out so that the students can do a presentation for your kids. If they want to follow along and kind of do it as a test run. So that'd be great. Not just this group, I have a whole list, and actually let me throw in the chat. I'll throw in the chat in a minute, but of all the different topics, all the different sessions that kids will be doing. So if that's something you're interested in, again, email me and I will add that to that. So with that, I will turn it over to Damian and Mia. Thank you guys. Take it away.
So hello, for those of you who don't know, my name is Damian, and I'm gonna moderate for this presentation. It's going to be on PhotoPea, which I can give you a link for. My job is going to be to answer questions and give you necessary links. And if you have any questions after this session, you can email me at drobinson24@rc19.net after I put it in the chat. And I don't have anything else, so I can hand it over to Mia, who's your presenter.
Hi everyone, I'm Mia, so I'm going to start presenting and then we can get right into it. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open PhotoPea just in a separate browser. Once you get to this page, you're going to want to press New Project. Once you've pressed New Project, you're going to see a bunch of different options here in the middle of your screen. We're not going to use any of these. These are just basic templates. But over to your left, you're going to see this little bar here, and you have social, print, photo, screen. And we're going to go to screen, and then over on your right, full HD. And then above this bar here, there's create, and you're going to want to press create. So now we're left with just a simple white background, easy to work with. So the first thing I want to go over is that there's differences between a PC computer and a Chromebook computer. So if you're on a Chromebook, for anytime I say right click, it's an alt click for you. And if you're on a PC, it's just a right click with your mouse. So to start our editing of this image, the first thing I'm going to have you do is right click or alt click. Here on the toolbar, we have our options. There's select, grouping, dropper, eraser, gradient, or what we're going to do is we're going to right click or alt click on the gradient tool to find paint bucket tool, text, and other things. That's going to be on your left. On your right, you can see your history. You can see all your layers right here. And up at the top, you have a bunch of different things. There's file, that's how you open things, that's how you save, that's how you export. Edit, that's where you can undo, and just basic editing stuff. Image, that's when you can edit your images that you put into here. There's layer, where you add a new layer, duplicate layer, delete layer, things of that nature. Select all, deselect, things of that nature under select. Filter, that's just adding filters to whatever you're doing. And then these three aren't really anything that are useful to what we're doing today. So the first thing that we're going to do with our image is we're going to right click on this gradient tool to your left, or alt click, and press paint bucket tool. And then down here, you can see these colors. You can choose any color you'd like, but I'm just going with the good old burgundy for the Warriors. And then simply click, and it should change the background.
Just select a layer on the right side, Mia. There you go.
Thank you. Apologies. That was awful. Anyway, now I click and the background fills in. How's everyone doing with that so far? All right, good to hear. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a text. So right on the left where all your tools are, you'll see the T for type. You'll want to click on that, and then clicking on your mouse and dragging, you'll create a text box. Now up at the top, we have a bunch of different options. We can change the font if you'd like. I'll just change it to destroy. Change the size, make it bigger, smaller, however you please, and then we can change the color. And just to make it visible, I'm going to make this bright blue. So you guys at home can write whatever you'd like, but I'm going to write MLTI since that's what we're doing today. So you'll see that my text isn't as big as the box I've made. So once I click outside of that box with my select tool, this will change so that it's exactly that size. Now that I've double clicked, you can still see the box to edit the words. So I'm just going to put this over here in the corner just so everyone can see that. So the next thing I'm going to go over with everyone is shapes and how to insert your shapes and create new shapes. So you're going to want to right click or alt click on this rectangle button on your left. And you'll see you can get the option for rectangle, ellipse, line, a parametric shape, or a custom shape. So I think it's most fun to do a custom shape just so that everyone can choose something that they like. So if you can click on custom shape for me, please. And then up at the top, you'll see you have more options. Right here is the color. I'm going to go with this bright blue. You have size options, things like that. And then over here, this right here is where I want you guys to focus, because if we click on that, it will load a bunch of different images for you to look at. So just pick something that you'd like. I've been going with the lightning bolt, but today I think I'm going to go with the rocket instead. So just like you did with the text, you're going to hold on your, you're going to click on your mouse and drag, and now you have your shape. Now you have your shape. So I'm going to move this to the left as well. How's everyone doing now?
It's going good, Mia.
All right, awesome. So there's one last thing I'd like to go over before we are done using PhotoPea. So my moderator, Damien, is going to put a link in for a moose image, or he's going to put a link in for the Bitly Chrome camera. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to insert an image and how to edit that image. So once Damien puts those links in, and everyone lets me know when they're ready, I'm going to show you how we insert images and how we can edit them. So I'm going to open the moose. So you see I have my moose right here, and you're going to right click or alt click on this and then get the save image as option. And you want to save image as, and then on your left, it'll open up onto your computer where you can save it onto your computer. I'm just going to save it onto pictures so that I know where to find it, and then under camera roll, save. So now I have my image saved, and I'll wait for everyone to save their images before I show you how to insert it. I'll just wait here a second. All right, so now that our images are saved, what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna go into File, that's on your top, and Open and Place. So once you click on Open and Place, it's gonna open up this tab just like it did when you were trying to save the image. So you're just gonna wanna go to where you saved that image, open it up, and then it'll come right onto your image. So now that you have your image placed, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start working with layers, because we're going to change this image to black and white. So just like we were doing earlier up at the top, we're going to go to Layer and Duplicate Layer. So now we have two of the same thing, but you're going to want to make sure that you're working with your top layer. So Moose Hunt's copy, or whatever your image is called, make sure it's the copy. Okay, so now that we're working with the copy, we're going to go up to Image, and then under Adjustments, you're going to see another tab open up. Then go to Hue/Saturation and bring your saturation all the way down, and you'll see it go black and white. So now we have a black and white image, but the bright blue of the lake was really cool, and I want to see that. So I'm going to come back over to my toolbar on the left, and I'm going to press the eraser button. And just like with everything else, we've gotten options up at the top of what we like. So I'm just going to change the size to be a little bit bigger, not that much bigger, a little bit bigger, just so that I don't have to erase little bits at a time. So what I'd like you to pick a color of anything on your picture, and try to erase only that color, or erase whatever you'd like. So once you try to erase, it's going to need to be rasterized. So if you try to erase and your image isn't rasterized, this tab is going to pop up. Just press OK. You're going to need that. Or if you hadn't rasterized it, you can always right click or alt click on your layer, and then rasterize is an option. Just forgot to do that before. So now I'm just erasing the blue.
So how are you doing that? If you hid that bottom layer, what would it look like?
If I hid the bottom layer?
The bottom moose layer, what would it look like?
That's what it would look like if I hid the bottom layer. It would just be erased.
Let's see.
And then you'll have to re-rasterize it. Oh, I'm still on the, never mind, sorry. Ignore what I just said, I was on the wrong layer. All right, now that I have my image just as I'd like it, I'm going to save it onto my computer. And this is the final step in today's presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to File at the top, and then I'm going to go as export as PNG. This just saves it onto as a image on your computer. If you want to save all the individual layers so that you can go back and edit it later, you would save as a PSD. But we're not doing that today, so I'm just going to export as a PNG. And this little screen will come up. You can move around, see all of your image. And then you can change any of these if you'd like, but there's really no point, I think. So then press save, and your project has been saved onto your computer.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mia. That was fantastic. So if you guys have any questions about PhotoPea or like using, photo editing and that kind of stuff, Mia and Damien both can help you out. We can have contact there. This was really terrific. That was really good practice. Like as I mentioned earlier, we are working on getting ready for the presentation coming up on May 20th. So the more opportunities we have to practice that, the better off I think it will be for everybody. So good job. I'm going to add a couple links in the chat here. One is, this is a number of sessions, not just the one that Mia just did, but there are other ones. Let me do a quick screen share here just to kind of know what's going on with these. Tab, boom. So if you are interested in having your class learn any of those virtually like we just did, the more opportunities that our kids get to practice that, the better it is. So here's learning about animation with Google Slides. So basically using your Google Slideshow as an animator. Now the content, what you want them to actually do the animation of, or do the photo of, or do the video of, whatever, that's up to you. But if you want a single lesson activity on training on how to do this, that's what these are for. So we have animations, editing, which is what Mia just did with PhotoPea. Editing would be video, so doing video work. Introduction to Tinkercad, so if you want to do 3D modeling type stuff. Some coding with Tinkercad, and pixel art with spreadsheets. These are the links to the sessions that we have available. The biggest issue, or the only issue really, would be timing, figuring out the timing of scheduling. But if we can do that, that's a great opportunity for your kids to learn some new tools, and for our high school students to learn those, all the little things of setting it up and getting it ready to go. So I think Mia would agree that it's different when you're practicing it for yourself, but you're doing it for an audience. So that's really good. The other thing I was going to do and ask for this week for the rest of the crew here is we have, let me do one more tab share here. So there's another project that a student's created. They actually finished up not too long ago, and this was photos and 360 photos of the old Nokomis, or historic Nokomis from across the street. And so what we're doing right now, we're actually working on a website that will have a bunch of still pictures as well as a bunch of 360 photos and so forth. We will be ready to share this out next Wednesday, and my plan is to have that student, Ashton Karen, was kind of heading that up. He'll be available to kind of take questions and kind of show it off. So the reason why I'm sharing this now is if any of you, or if you know of people who have, there's a link to that slideshow, but if you guys have photos that we could add to this slide deck of different photos from across the street back there, I would absolutely appreciate those and love them to have them there. We're looking for photos that do not have people in them necessarily. If it's a blurred photo that you don't see people's faces, that's fine. But we didn't want to worry about permissions from people putting their picture on. So if you have any pictures from the old building that we could add to this, that'd be great. We're absolutely willing to take those. And just so you know, if you go to that link, so that link that I just added to the chat here, that bit.ly/historic Nokomis photo album, if you click on that, it will pull up to this page right here. And then the upper right, this is actually open right now so that anybody can add photos. In the upper right here, there's looks like a little image icon with a little plus. If I click on that, you can upload photos that you have right from your computer or from your phone, or if you have some old photos, you can add them to that. And that would be much appreciated. We're going to keep adding to this photo album from across the street. It'll just be a fun historical artifact to have, obviously a digital one, but we are finishing up this week the 360 tour, and I'm excited to be able to share that next week with the students, have them talk about taking the pictures and sharing that out. So you will, hopefully by this time next week, be able to take a virtual tour of the old school, kind of walk around and see what it was like for all of us that remember it very, very well. And with that, I will do one quick reminder, and then we'll kind of wrap it up for the day. As a reminder, speaking of virtual tours, we did our first rollout of the VR headset kits that we did with Miss Wade's class, a 5th grade class. It was super fun to watch the kids react to putting these on and looking around. I think they went to space, and I think they went to the International Space Station or that kind of stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, having visit your class for a session, just email me, let me know, we can schedule it. Obviously, we just have to, align schedules as far as where it can be. But if I know topics ahead of time that you're interested in doing, maybe you're talking about volcanoes or the human body or some place around the world, we can preload places for them to visit, your class to visit. But just let me know, email me, and I can certainly set that up, and we can schedule that and bring other parts of the world that we're not able to go to right now to your classroom. Hopefully let the kids join. Just so you know, if you're wondering about sharing devices, the class set is 30. So if you don't have a class more than 30, and we also have one of these little visors here per student. So if you sign one out there, they get one. We don't have more than one, but we'll have baggies to keep them between times that they use the headsets. That way we keep them all nice and safe. So I think with that, yes, Mr. Roach recognized some of those pictures. Exactly. Yeah, we did some editing, I believe, a year before we left, some of those black and white ones, for sure. And I think with that, special thanks to our 2 presenters today, Damien and Mia. Thank you guys very much, and we'll wrap it up. I'm going to click stop now. Thank you guys all for visiting, and we'll see you guys again next week.